Hi, welcome to PhDizzle, and I'm your host, Alice Cheng, and today I'm interviewing Vahid Kazemi, who got his PhD in computer science from KTH in Sweden and is now in sunny Los Angeles working as an engineering manager. Tell me a little bit about computer science and your PhD.
Yeah, I studied machine learning actually when I was in Sweden. So I graduated with my PhD in 2014. That was just the time that machine learning started to become a very big thing. Right now, a lot of companies are using machine learning to automate a lot of tasks. Additionally, we programmers would sit down and design algorithms to solve problems. But right now we have learned that using machine learning, you can actually let data speak for itself and basically use data to design algorithms without human intervention. For example, you can see there are applications of using machine learning to play Go or chess or do natural language understanding, where you use your algorithm to read a sentence and understand what it actually means.
Mm-hmm. So what facet of machine learning did you work on? Because I know you've done work in computer vision. You just talked a little bit about reading, and so did you work on all of that, or did you focus on a particular piece of it?
Yeah, I did work on a little bit of all of that, but my main focus was on computer vision, which is about enabling computers to see and understand the world around us. So one of the companies actually that I worked at was Waymo. It's a self-driving car company.
Wow.
Yeah, so the whole idea is that you can basically replace drivers, like human drivers. So that requires a very kind of detailed understanding, a deep understanding of the environment around you, and being able to look at what is in front of you and just grasp everything that the same way that the human does. You can predict the behavior of all the pedestrians moving around, or all the cars moving around, and all of this is done by computers.
We talk about self-driving cars, and I think it's happening, but how far away are we from an actual car that that can just I get into it and it just takes me automatically somewhere?
I think it's gonna take a bit of a time. I don't think anyone quite knows right now how long it will take to fully replace humans. In a smaller scale, I think we are seeing, even currently right now, there are companies like Waymo who actually have fully automated, fully self-driving cars working in limited kind of scenarios. So for example, only in certain roads and certain environments, under certain conditions. Just completely replace humans, I think there's still a bunch of challenges. Basically making these algorithms as reliable as humans, and it's getting there. I mean, every year is improving, but we are not quite there yet.
I want to step back a little bit and talk a little bit about you and your career choices. After your PhD, I mean, you've worked at Google, Waymo, which is part of Google, but still different. Now at Snap. A lot of PhDs end up going in academia. So is it just because your field, it's just more natural to go into industry, or did you ever think about going into academia? How is the transition for you?
During my PhD, I applied for some internships at Google and Microsoft, and I got there and I worked there a little bit, and there I just immediately understood that that's what I want to do. I mean, I think for me, being able to make real impact by doing large experiments and building products that everyone uses, that's very appealing for me. Yeah.
You've been working in this industry for a while now. In terms of computer vision, talk about self-driving cars, facial recognition now at Snap, but what do you think is the future of this industry? What can computer vision do, or what are you most excited about?
We're going to see a lot more of machine learning and computer vision applications in coming years. I think we barely scratched the surface, because we just managed to make these algorithms kind of work. And so I think when you look at the applications of machine learning currently, you don't see it in a lot of user-facing products. It's more back-end side of things, right? For example, Google is using machine learning to optimize search results. Should it show to you to maximize their revenue? We don't really see it in our everyday life. For example, what Siri is doing right now, but doing it better. Someone that can assist you completely, and like a human,
Yeah.
basically be able to like you do accomplish all of your tasks. I think we will see a lot of these kind of applications very soon. I'd say like in the next 5 to 6 years.
You see the movie Her?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think we'll fall in love with our personal assistants?
Yeah, it could. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely think that there is no difference between a computer and a human brain. So I think it's pretty much the same thing. It's just like an algorithm. It's just that our brain is really, really, really complicated and really good. The difference is that so far the computer algorithms that we have developed, they are just like single purpose, right? So they just can do chess, or they can just do object recognition, or like human language understanding. But once we get to the point that we can do all of these together at the same time, it pretty much becomes like a human brain, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just like a matter of making it really, really good at very many different things.
Interesting. All right. So I work in venture capital, and one of the things that we always think about is what's difference of a human versus a machine. And as more machines start replacing physical labor tasks, and they start building up in terms of how sophisticated they are, what is the value out of humans? And from my perspective, I always thought it was maybe a creative task or like a relationship building task. But what are your thoughts on the future of machine-human interactions and what we would be doing as humans moving forward?
For a long time, a lot of people thought that like you cannot automate creative tasks, but I think quite recently, so everyone is convinced that, and that's not really true. And you can see it with new machine learning algorithms. There's a whole branch of like machine learning called generative modeling, and these kind of algorithms have shown that they can actually produce new things. They don't need to just have seen the results before. So I don't think there's any area in terms of like job sector that like, you can say it's safe. I think all of it will be replaced by machines eventually, but I think a lot of times a lot of people just are too optimistic about like how long it will take. I think we have shown that like, there is a path toward solving all of these problems with machine learning, but we haven't shown that they are good enough. They have to be good enough to be able to like place humans in different areas. So there could be like some areas that is going to take more. For example, language understanding. I think so. Right now, machine learning algorithms are quite good at understanding very short sentences. Right? If you make your sentence very clear and tell it to Siri on the news, for example, something like that, it understands it. But like if you just make it a little bit complicated, it will just like track of like what you were talking about. So
say in 50 years or like 80 years when everything's sophisticated, what do you think the purpose of humans will be?
Will
we still be around?
We can just like chill out at the beach.
Oh, okay.
I think like.
So it'll be good. It'll be a good thing that if we're getting more machines to replace our tasks.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's no reason for having humans do stuff that can be automated, right? A lot of people say like about jobs, and why do you want people to just like waste their time doing something that you can't do like a machine, right?
Yeah.
So for example, you can already just like place all calculators with like just hire humans and to multiply two numbers together, but like know that they can't just like a calculator, and it does it very efficiently. So there's no really any point in doing stuff that can be automated. But then you have to think about once you have these kind of technologies, then how do you make sure that the economy still works and like people's welfare? These are the areas that you have to think about. So it's not quite clear. But I don't see this as a big risk in very short term. I think like next 4 or 5 years. But next 50 years, I think definitely it's a big risk.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, something people are going to have to figure out.
Yeah.
Starting soon. You mentioned hanging out at the beach as something that you would do. So tell me about. So we're here at Venice Beach. How do you like living around here, and what do you like to do on your time off?
Yeah. So I do a lot of different things. I read a lot of books, listen to a lot of podcasts. One thing that I really like to do during weekends is just like walk along the Venice Beach.
You're here at the skate park. Do you skateboard, or do you just like watching?
I do a little bit, but I'm terrible at it. So I prefer to watch it.
PhDizzle.
having fun with the smart people who do cool things. All right.